point about this as well is this wasn't any old story. This was a story that was the most important story in The Guardian's history. It was vital that every single element of it should be right.
Let's get things in proportion here. Your newspaper had hacked a murdered girl's telephone.
Look, I'm not here to... I don't believe that the news world was exonerated. Has been exonerated. What we did was indefensible, not just to Millie, but to all the victims of hacking. I'm not here to justify that in any way. What I'm here to do is attack the shoddy journalism of The Guardian and the shoddy journalism of Nick. He says it was accepted by everyone that this happened. Read his original copy. There's no acceptance of it. There's a statement from News International at the end saying we're looking into this. News International at that time was a rabbit caught in headlights. They'd clearly been caught out misleading people with the one rogue reporter theory, and they weren't going to make that mistake again. They weren't confirming anything to anyone.
Fine. Do you accept the News of the World should have been closed down anyway?
I'm not... there's a perfectly good argument that the News of the World should be closed down. I'm not here to defend the News of the World. I'm here to attack Nick's journalism. And it isn't just down to this story. Let's go a week later. Just a week later, after this sensational claim, he claims in a front-page story again that the Sun hacked into Gordon Brown's medical records to reveal his son's cystic fibrosis. The Guardian did apologise for that story. That story could have had exactly the same effect on the Sun
this man
Millie had on the News of the World.
Revealed widespread criminality at your newspaper.
Absolutely, and
and
there's
he
large
should
elements
be
of the Guardian.
for that,
there's
shouldn't
large
he?
elements of the Guardian's investigation that is fantastic, but there's also really shoddy journalism by the Guardian, which is and the other media has treated a lot of pretty much what the Guardian has said as fact for the last 5 months. And it's only now that the Guardian's journalism is coming under proper scrutiny.
Okay, can I come back on this?
Most of it was fact, wasn't it?
A lot of it was fact, but there was some significant smears and significant untruths.
Okay. We've published more than 100 stories revealing immoral criminal behaviour by the newspaper where you worked for 15 years. Now just look, for example, at the Gordon Brown story which you've just raised. Gordon Brown's wife, Sarah, gave birth to a child. The doctors said this child appears to have a very serious illness. We need to do more tests. During that period when they were waiting to confirm it, the Sun discovered this confidential medical information about this sick boy. Any decent newspaper would say, we can't publish this. But that newspaper chose to. And that put enormous stress on those parents. I've interviewed Gordon Brown on the record. He says that when the Sun decided to publish that information, he and Sarah Brown were in tears. So, subsequently, we published a story about it, and we did not say that the Sun had obtained that by hacking. You've just made that up. It's not there in the story. What I said was...
Read the apology that the Guardian...
Listen to... Let me finish. The Sun gained access to confidential medical information. At one point in the story, I used a different term of words. I said gained access to confidential medical records, and I couldn't prove that they got to the file. And this is the difference. The Guardian corrected and apologised that. When did the Sun apologise for doing that cruel and inhumane thing to those parents whose sick child now will grow up and discover all these horrible stories about his medical condition?
I'm not here to discuss the ethics of the
But look,
Sun.
who's
I'm
guilty of
not
shoddy
justifying
journalism?
the ethics of the Sun or the News of the World. I'm attacking the shoddy journalism of the Guardian. And there are lots of examples of it.
No, there aren't. There are two that you're coming up with. You've misrepresented what we said in the Gordon Brown story. It's a matter of wording, which we corrected. On the Gordon Brown story.
You apologise for it.
But you've never apologised for doing the terrible thing.
Matter.
Yes, indeed.
That's the whole point.
Yes, so we said...
Of course we've apologised for it. I've apologised for it on this show, and every senior executive has apologised. Rupert Murdoch said it was the most humble day of his life.
But why don't you have some humility, then, about this?
I've got huge humility. I'm not saying that we're exonerated in any way.
What is happening here is a classic example of the way that tabloid newspapers work. You're in a heap of trouble because for years you personally have taken Murdoch's money, like these other people, and ruined people's lives and invaded people's privacy and engaged in criminal activity. You've hired private investigators in the past, haven't you? Private investigators who were breaking the law, haven't you, Jules? Haven't you, Jules?
I'm not here to talk about...
Would you like a list of people who
let's go through the list of the 100 Observer journalists that made requests to Steve
but you
Whittemore.
Personally hired a private investigator who was doing illegal things to get confidential data.
Isn't that true? To talk about the...
Why won't you admit the truth? Isn't it time for some humility? Didn't you hire a private investigator who was doing...
Let's talk about the names of all the Observer Observer journalists to do it, and the current...
You're ducking it, aren't you?
The current Guardian
You accuse me of
journalists are
shoddy
doing it.
journalism when your name is all over the records of Steve Whittemore, a private investigator who was convicted of using illegal means. Your name's there. Information about Jeremy Theakster, about Anne Robinson,
There's
about John
public
Penrose,
interest
about Anna
defences for
Friel.
that.
But you're
Let's
admitting you
start
hired
naming,
that
Let's start naming
investigator.
some of the Guardian journalists.
Who's
that
shoddy
named in
here?
there.